My name is Martin, I'm a social and charisma expert, and in today's video I will show you how you yourself will never ever get manipulated by other people again, because I'm gonna expose all of their tactics to you. And if you don't believe me for some reason, here is my EQ test and here is my charisma test, so you can all see that I'm not bullshitting you. 3 girls in my school rated me as the most charismatic and the most sympathetic person in the entire school. Unfortunately, I don't have that sheet. And my promise to you is that I'm gonna show you 6, that's not 6, this is 6, manipulation tactics that manipulators will use on you to gain control over you, and so you can understand when people are using these tactics against you, so you can defend against them and stop talking with these people because they just want to take advantage of you. So let's start. Let's start by something very common nowadays, and that's isolation. Isolation is when a manipulator cuts off every single one of your connections so they will be the only one staying. But remember, this can be also done in a very nice way. For example, if you have a partner, for example, and your partner is trying to isolate you from friends that have a bad influence on you, of course, like, that is morally right. For example, if your partner sees in you this good and awesome angel, absolutely honest person, and you have this one friend a liar, this one friend who is doing drugs, and this other friend that is vaping, the partner will cut off these absolute degenerates. But now, you need to think about this logically and not emotionally. If we have great people around us, for example, like, this person is so honest, they don't do any bad habits, they are not lying, they're always honest. If we have these people and our friend or our partner is trying to cut them off, that means they only want us for themselves. So if you want to avoid the situation at all costs, think, is this person trying to help me? Does this person care about me? Is he right about all of those toxic, absolutely disgusting, lying friends? Or is he just trying to take control of me? And you might be wondering, how would a manipulator use this isolation technique against me? Usually, people will plant seeds in your mind about the other person and how bad they are, how bad their influence is on you, how bad they are lying, they are doing this. I'm gonna highlight this again. Some people just want good for you and they just want you to get rid of fucking stupid friends. But on the other hand, there might be people who want to take control over you, and they would be really happy if you had 0 friends than only them. And back to the seeds though. If a manipulator does this to you, they will usually plant these little seeds. Something like, oh, look what they have done, oh, they are doing this, oh, they are doing this, and they will purposefully, subconsciously, yes, subconsciously, they will go and try to isolate you from your people. And I'm gonna tell you a story right now. I still remember I had this one group of friends and I wanted to improve myself. I wanted to grow up a little bit and come out of my shell more. But these people were holding me back. They were saying that people in the gym are abusive and they are just meatheads and they have no IQ whatsoever. They can only lift hard weight. And they were planting seeds in my mind. Improving yourself is bad because there are bad people there, blah, 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 blah. What was the easiest solution? I stopped talking to them and completely cut them off because they were not meeting my own values. And we can all agree that this happened to some extent to every single one of us in our lives. And I think we can all agree that this happened to every single one of us in our lives when the other person tried to cut off, they tried to cut off our connections and just cut off everything, so we would only be with them and not with anyone else. And let me tell you why this single technique is so effective. They are doing this because they don't want you to get any other influence. I think that makes sense, because if you cut out people who smoke, naturally you don't want to smoke anymore because there is nobody around you that also is a smoker. If you cut out people who are going to the gym every single day and they are improving their lives, of course, if you cut them off, your self-improvement is gonna go massively down because you don't have the community anymore. Silent treatment. And I have to be honest with every single one of you who are watching this video. I am guilty of silent treatment. Because I do it to my girl every single time we have an argument. When me and my girl have an argument, instead of me shouting at her or God forbid even hurting her, I would rather compose my emotions inside my head right here. Yeah, I had to quickly adjust our camera settings just for you all because I was lagging a little bit, so I'm back. Yeah, I'm guilty of silent treatment because always when I have an argument with my girl, I just go absolutely silent. It's only because I don't want to hurt her, and also I don't want to scream at her. I would just rather compose all of my emotions in my mind. But I have told this to my girl, and I told her I am subconsciously doing this manipulation technique on you, so just remember, I'm not doing it to hurt you, I'm doing it because I don't want to hurt you or scream at you. And she understood. And remember, when you tell someone about your manipulation, it's usually no longer manipulation because now they know like, oh, he's telling the truth. That usually kills off the manipulation because you reveal what is your true intention. But how do people use silent treatment? Silent treatment is a little bit of a psychological warfare. When there is an argument, people that go silent usually want you to overthink in your own mind and become emotional and start to beg for their attention and blah blah blah. It's just this weird psychological manipulation when you crave this person, but in fact, this person doesn't crave you and you seek their approval. And yeah, like I've just said, I'm guilty of this. So whenever you will be in a argument, be careful about this because people do it a lot of times. They just go absolutely silent. They will just not say anything. And rather than speaking up their own mind to you, they will shut down. And we can all agree that shutting down from communication is fucking not healthy. Now, let me talk about something much more subconscious, and that is people love to correct others. And this is a quick psychological hack that a lot of people are using. Let me show it to you. Imagine if you have two teenagers. This is teenager number 1 and this is teenager number 2. And both of these teenagers go into a different school. This teenager goes into school A and this teenager goes into school B. But these people recently just met and they have no idea into what school the other person is going to. So let's say the person that is going into school B will break the ice and will ask the guy, in what school are you going? And the other guy will say A, and the other guy will ask him, and in what school are you going? And he will answer with B. And I have to be honest, if you want to spice your conversations a little bit, you will not do this approach. Let me show you what approach will manipulators use. Instead of directly asking what school are you going into, this person, if he's a little cheeky motherfucker, he will just already make an assumption. This person, instead of saying what school are you going into, he will already jump into a conclusion. For example, in this case, oh, you look like you are going into school B. And what is very interesting about this is that people love correcting others. So the person that is going into school A will usually correct the other person and will be like, oh, no, I'm not going into school B, I'm going into school A. And you gain the same information, but in a different way. And manipulators can get so many out of people by just saying something, and even if it's not true, people love correcting others. I believe this is how police also catch criminals. They put them inside the interrogation room and they will say probably something that did not happen and they want the suspect to correct them. And if they will say a lie, they will now know because probably their information they have told the suspect might be even fabricated. So that's how manipulators also take advantage of your lacking social awareness. And let me show you the two benefits of using this tactic. First thing, you will usually 99% of the time get the truth because people don't really know what you are doing. They just think that, oh, he must have made a mistake and he thinks that I'm going into this school, so let me correct him. But in fact, manipulators use that to their advantage because they know that the other person will say the truth no matter what, because the other person thinks that the manipulator has made a mistake. And then, second thing, if they guess right, they will look fucking amazing. Because this is kind of a no risk win situation. Because if they will ask you are going into school B and they're not going into school B, the other person will just correct them and say the right information. No big deal. But if they guess right, they'll be like, whoa, dude, how did you know that? How did you know that I was going into school A? Are you some kind of psychic? What the hell? And they will look super smart because they have just guessed right. So this is how manipulators can gain also attention by just guessing. And it sometimes works. And by the way, if you yourself want to learn more about manipulation, if this video gets 20 likes, I myself will make a part 2 when I will explain even more manipulation tactics because there are so many of them. Also subscribe to this channel so you will not miss the part 2 of manipulation. Breadcrumbing. Oh my god, breadcrumbing is so interesting in this modern world because it happens everywhere. You have to know this, like I'm telling you, you have to know this because in this modern world it's happening absolutely everywhere and you need to see when the other person is doing this to you. I know this sounds a little bit clickbaity or all shit, you have to watch this guys, but I'm telling you, it's happening everywhere. So let's start. I think we have all seen this. There's this, let's say this pretty girl. Okay, pretty girl or pretty guy, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you are male or a woman, just think about a dating market in this scenario. For me, it is a girl. To all of us, this one thing happened. When we messaged someone that we want to get into an intimate relationship with. But these people, like, don't give a shit. They will just message us some weird one-liner. Something like, have you ever wanted to care about someone and ask them, what are you doing? What are you doing? You will ask them, what are they doing? And instead of them speaking to you directly and telling you what they are truly doing, they will just say like TV. And they will just say something completely simple that you cannot bounce off of because it's so simple. Now, let me tell you why people do this shit. What I have just shown you here is called breadcrumbing. If people don't want to talk to you, especially girls, because we all know that girls are a little bit more shy and they don't want to say something that would hurt your feelings, they will usually just walk around the bush with you forever. And they will feed you these breadcrumbs. Because you can see this, what are you doing? This TV right here is a little breadcrumb. It is feeding you because they are responding. If you were to just say, what are you doing? And they will never respond, you will know, oh, it's over. But because they are responding just with these one-liners, these fucking simple sentences, you think, oh, you might have a chance. But in fact, this is just breadcrumbing. They are just making this big path of breadcrumbs, but at the end, there ain't no bread. There is no bread at the end. They are just making you feed on these little breadcrumbs and they are literally playing mind games with you. So let me tell you how you can get rid of these people in your DMs right now. What are you doing? TV. In this case, I would already jump into a conclusion. Wanna go out? Simple, very straightforward. You are not hiding anything, you are just going for the kill. You are just going for the kill, asking them out. And if they say, sorry, I don't have time today because this happened, and then, okay, of course, they might have something on their calendar, but if this occurs the next week also, again, wanna go out? And if this again occurs, you now know that, oh, it's over. They don't want to go out with me because they are not even making an effort to reschedule. Usually when someone really wants to go out with you, they will just say, oh, sorry, I cannot today, but next Monday is okay. Is the next Monday okay? But if they don't even make an effort to reschedule, they just don't give a shit about you and they are just feeding you these little breadcrumbs. And I have to be honest, usually girls do this to guys because they just like the attention. They just crave the ego. They just love this shit. They just love this shit when someone is messaging them. And highly successful guys are doing this also, to be honest. We guys are not perfect. There are also fucked up, disgusting men in our ranks. And these guys are just going around the bush always, or these girls are just going around the bush always, and they cannot make up their mind. They just cannot do it. They are just always responding with these simple messages, and they never make a move because it's only about their ego. They love the attention. I have seen this one guy online, like very successful influencer, and this guy was talking like, he was talking with a girl, and of course he was sleeping with her, and this girl had like 5 unopened messages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She had like 5 unopened messages from random guys, and it's only because she likes the attention. Her ego is being absolutely fed by these messages. So, stop feeding someone else's ego, focus on yourself. Very simple advice. So the next time you will see someone doing this shit to you, they're just not interested and they don't know how to say it because they want your attention and they want to like keep you on the hook like a fish, and they don't want you to go away because their big ego is getting even bigger every single day because of your messages. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is two choice techniques. This is a very simple cherry on top of this video at the end. So it's very simple for a person to pick from two choices, and usually people are doing this. For example, if I myself give you two choices, you will come home into my apartment and we will just start talking, and I will offer you, I have a tea or water. Usually people pick from one of those two. Oh, I would like water. Oh, I would love tea. But nobody really picks the third option because people don't assume that you have the third option if you have just presented two of them. In this case, nobody would really say that, oh, bro, I don't want tea or water, I want coffee. Duh. And it would kind of ruin the social situations because you have presented two options and suddenly the person came up with a third one. Doesn't make sense. And this is also what magicians use. They will usually give you two choices, but in fact, they have the third option up in their sleeves right here. And they will just pull up the ace when you least expect it. And I have to be honest, this is very, very rare, but you just have to be careful about this also. This is just a little cherry on top. You can probably see this working. Just if you give someone tea and water, they'll probably pick from one of those two because they will know like this person doesn't have coffee. And if they ask for a coffee, that just sounds weird in the situation. And by the way, if you yourself want to skyrocket your charisma and your social skills journey, I have something very interesting for you. I have created a community full of people who are just like you, and they want to improve their social skills and their charisma as well with you. You will also get access to me as your charisma and communication teacher, and I will rate everything that you want to rate. For example, your speaking patterns, your listening abilities, your body language, whatever it might be. And lastly, you will get access to 30+ hours of courses and lectures from me about first impression, speaking, listening, body language, persuasion, manipulation, leadership, storytelling, so many things. So if that sounds interesting to you, just click the first link in the description and I will see you there. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Live a happy life. I will see you in the next one.